Yo, what's going on, man? It's the KYREN Monteiro Show, season number 4, episode 2, Legacy Building, featuring the one and only Daimon Nee.
What up?
Let's go. Hope y'all feeling good out there in the universe right now, man.
Yeah, schools, yeah.
Face squad in this thing today, man.
Hey.
Tell them I shut it
down. I shut it down. I'm levitating, so that means I'm off the ground. I'm feeling it, so that means I'm about to clown.
I tell them please excuse her,
cause somebody might drown. I shut it down, shut it down. I'm levitating, so that means I'm off the ground.
Yes, sir.
I'm feeling it, so that means I'm about to clown.
I tell them please excuse her,
cause somebody might drown.
Had to tell them, boy,
for the broken
back at it again. What's going on, everybody? My name is KYREN Monteiro. Welcome to the KYREN Monteiro Show, season number 4, episode number 2. I almost got that wrong, man. Round of applause for y'all, man. Make sure that you listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which is now turning into YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, all the major podcast platforms, man. We got a great episode, man. I got the one and only Daimon Nee. What's happening, man?
What's up, man? What's good with you, bro?
Man, so check this out, y'all. Daimon Nee is a hip-hop recording artist signed to Engage Records. He is a songwriter, performer, a father, a son, a friend, and my brother, the one and only Daimon Nee. What's good with it, man?
What's good with you, bro? You been all right?
Hey, bro, we've been busy, man.
Boy, have we ever.
2024 has been a great, strong start. It's a lot of work.
And we only in a month in.
Yeah, it's already February. Speaking of which, February 2024, Happy Black History Month.
Yes, sir. Happy Black History Month.
Yeah, Happy Black History Month.
Shout out
man.
to the culture.
Shout out to the culture, man. We want to say, we honor and thank our ancestors that put in work for us to stand on their shoulders.
Absolutely.
Today, moment of silence, real quick, for those that we've lost. Now, a round of applause, man. Thank y'all. May y'all rest in peace. Thank you for the work that you put in.
Yes, sir.
Daimon Nee.
What's up?
We got this episode called Legacy Building. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good, man.
You feeling good?
Yeah, I am. I woke up feeling great. I'm just blessed.
So I got to see Daimon Nee perform at an artist showcase for the first time last week. That was dope. I've known you for a while, over 10 years.
Yeah, over 10 years.
And that was the first time that I got to see you perform, man. Like,
honestly, likewise. I was saying the same thing.
Yeah, that was dope, man. Definitely great performances, man. And it's dope to go genuinely support your people. Shout out to Larry, the producer, and everything.
I was just about to say the same thing. Shout out Larry, man. Yeah, for real, you're doing your thing.
Shout out Larry, the producer, providing a platform for here in Indiana, Kokomo, Indiana, every Thursday night.
Go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. If y'all want information, reach out to the company. We'll definitely get it to y'all. So, man, I want to get into this, man. When I think about you as a person, when I think about your latest album, your debut album, Into the Moment, and just when I look at your growth and stuff, one thing I see you transitioning to and really being conscious of in your life is legacy building. And that's why I entitled this episode Legacy Building, because when I look at you as a father, a becoming businessman, and just different things, I'm looking at legacy building.
Yeah, of course.
I think when a man really hits that age of about 30 plus, I think you really start looking at things different. Like
100%.
I think we do a lot of dumb stuff in our 20s, and it's like, yo, it's time to.
Yeah,
I'm still young, but I ain't 18 no more, so it's time to get my stuff together. And so that brings me into question number 1, man. Tell myself and the people about your life. Where did you grow up? Your upbringing, family stuff. Like, kind of, give us that insight on how you came up.
So I was born in Bluffton, Indiana, but like where I was. So I was born and raised in Sweetser, Indiana. So, but all my family, they had an issue with Marion Hospital, so everybody was born in Bluffton, except for my little sister. Mm-hmm. And so, like, so they would go. We lived in Sweetser, but when we was time to get born, we was all going to Bluffton. So my birth certificate says Bluffton, but I mean I resided in Sweetser. But growing up, I went to Oak Hill. Music wasn't. It was always a thing, but like it was never. I never really thought about being a rapper or anything like that. It was just like when mom down the road, we would listening to music. I would always either change the lyrics and make it funny, or I would change the lyrics and make it my own. And like I always knew I was gonna do something with music, but I just never thought I was gonna be a rapper.
Look, he jumping ahead into my questions.
My fault.
You straight? No, you straight. But just to lay down the foundation of even before the music, what was it like? What was your upbringing like?
Okay. Like
the city you grew up in, like how you was raised. What was it?
Okay, my fault. I misunderstood the question.
No, you're all right. You straight.
So growing up, I wouldn't say I had it hard. I had it different.
Okay.
So
explain that.
So growing up, I was in a predominantly, white neighborhood. My mom was white. My cousins were white. My aunt, uncles, all, where I went to church, Converse Church of Christ. Nothing but white people. My school, Oak Hill, Sweetser, all that, and obviously me, I didn't know really what I was, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew I was black. I was, my grandma would say I was brown. I was brown sugar, you know what I'm saying? But like, I didn't know my dad's side like that. My dad wasn't, a part of my life growing up. He was in and out. And so like trying to know who I was, going to an all-white school, my mom not knowing, because I was her first, and not knowing, having a biracial son, like not knowing the certain, like I guess you would say like the black culture, not knowing the black culture and what I would go through, and her not being black, she didn't really understand that I'd get called the N-word going to school at being 6'7", you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of hard to me, it's kind of hard to fully understand something that you're not.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like, and whether she did or not, like so my hair was different. My hair's not like a white person. I didn't really know how to take care of my hair until I was like 19.
To get around people that had to teach you.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so like, and I was mixed. I wasn't but at Oak Hill, I was known as the black kid. You know what I'm saying? And not having my dad, I started getting a chip on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? I started to act out. I started to do like a lot of stupid stuff growing up. And so I would get in trouble all the time, like to the point where my grandpa was pulling up in his white work van. Like he owned Needs Electrical Service. He was starting it from the ground up. He had a white truck and a ladder on his van. And it's got to the point where he started pulling up. And I knew when he pulled up, I was getting the belt. You know what I'm saying? But like in first grade, I had like 40 referrals in the first semester.
In fourth grade?
First grade. Like first grade. Yeah, to the point where they was ready to like suspend me and stuff. And like,
I thought I was bad.
And it was just petty stuff. And at the end of the day, it was everything for attention. I was hoping every time I got in trouble, my dad would show up.
And it's crazy that you got into that, because literally my question number 2 is like, how was being an African American and then, being white American, like how did those two worlds shape you into the man that you are today?
So it was hard because I just kind of started finding out who I was a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? So like growing up, I knew I was mixed, so I was like, I had to carry myself like I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everyone else looked at me like, oh, he's the black kid. And then as I was getting older, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I started getting around black people, like, no, you white. You act white. You're not black. You're not us. You know what I'm saying? So at the longest time, I didn't know who I was. So I was just, trying to play both sides. When I was around white people, I act white. When I was around black people, I act black. Or whatever I thought black was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so even then, I also learned growing up, all those racial slurs, the white people did not care. And to the point where they thought I was lying. So like, and then I learned the second guy always gets in trouble, whether I retaliated, fighting, whatever, I always got in trouble. So I was like, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. So I was involved and I'm ashamed of it, but I just started making racial slurs too. Started, just, what I'm saying, making black jokes about me, making black jokes about, just so I wouldn't have to tolerate getting bullied or getting in trouble, or because I was really heavy in sports. Like, I thought I was going to go to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us thought we were going to go to the NBA, but like, I really did. And then the more I hear from other people like close to me that really know me from other schools, like, bro, we thought you was going to go to the league. We thought you was going to go D1, this and that, or like you was good enough to do that. But I didn't think that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was focused on other stuff. So yeah, it was very different, but it's also a blessing. Like you said, it shaped me to who I am now. Like, I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Damon the white guy. I'm Damon. I'm God's creation. I'm me. You know what I'm saying? There's only one me. There's no one else like me. I don't care if you have my name. You could have my first and last name. You're not me. There's only one me. God made me one of one. You know what I'm saying? And I know that now. So like, but learning all that.
Hey, round of applause to that, man. That's good stuff.
But like, learning all that, it took a lot. There was a lot of different stuff that happened that we can get into later, but that happened that, shaped me to, understand that.
So give a, like, if you could sum up growing up biracially, half black, half white, and then eventually those two worlds collide. How would you say that both of those worlds played a part? Like, right now, to this day in 2024, how has that shaped Damon Nee into the man that you are? Because that's something I don't understand.
So I guess I'm kind of confused somewhat. Because like, it's the best and the worst of both worlds. Because like I said, white people, they look at you, you black, you one of them. Black people, a lot, especially full black people, they look at some like, now you light skinned, you got white people, you got, it's like you're not one of us. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to answer your question on how it shaped me or molded me. Like
it's just interesting because I know coming up, like I'm full black. And so even though I'm high yellow than the mug, I ain't that much darker than you. I'm full black. So it's like it was interesting. Growing up, I always knew like things was different between African Americans and white America, Caucasian Americans, whatever you want to say, or Europeans, American. I don't know.
And I guess I never understood why, because I was...
Well, I knew the history. I mean, I knew about, the history of the country. I knew all of that. But I think what I'm more so referring to is like, it was like the first part of my life, I grew up in the hood, right, in the city of Marion, even though, whatever that was at the time. But then we kind of quickly moved out to the suburbs of the city.
Right.
And I was like the only black kid in the neighborhood. And I clearly seen the difference. Like, immediately, I went from like, I knew that white people existed, but I didn't really have any dealings with them.
And I guess I'm like the opposite. Like,
I
I knew black people existed, but so you know how like the saying, like, people from the streets are dying to get out of it? Mm-hmm. And then people who aren't from the streets are dying to see what it's about. And that's basically what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really know what it was to be black or what it was, because all I seen was white people, you know what I'm saying? And what, you know what I mean? Like, that's all it really was. Like, because I was my family, you know what I'm saying? That's everything.
But it's still in you. You just wasn't around culture to tap into it.
Yeah, to tap into it, and that's part of it. My dad not, being a part of my life for so long, you know what I'm saying? And then it still felt like I was playing catch up. When I did finally meet my black side of the family, it was like I'm still playing catch up. And then some of them looking at me like, bro, you're supposed to know this. And I'm like, yeah, you might be right, but just wasn't how I was brought up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I understand that, man. I'll come back to that. I want to get into, because you are a recording artist.
Yeah.
Recently signed to Engage Records. You want to hit the yellow button? Give him a round of applause.
Let's go. Shout out to Engage, baby. Let's do this. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for real.
So with all of that being said, man, what what got you into music, especially like into the hip hop culture, and you doing music? Because you just told me you really didn't tap into black culture and urban culture till you was like 18, 19, which is.
I mean, I guess I always loved rap music, but it got to the point where I just loved music. Like I was.
So what got you into music? What got you into music and wanting to do music? Just to give us.
So just music in itself was just therapeutic for anything. My mom would always listen to, Luther, Ruben Studdard, Keith Sweat, Avant, all that.
These are all R&B legends, by the way, if y'all don't know what we talking about.
And so my mom, my mom was around a lot of black people. She wanted that. She wanted, obviously, me and my sisters wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case,
Right.
And so she loved that culture. So I grew up to all of them. So I was listening to Nelly and all them. But then my grandparents were Christian, and they were all about God, which I'm blessed for that. And then my aunts and stuff, they were all about country music. So whenever I was with them, I'm listening to Christian and country music. And for the longest time, I was with them a lot because my mom worked all the time. So I'm always with them. So then I learned to have a variety, and then especially going to Oak Hill, they're listening to rock, they're listening to all that. So I got a variety. Like I said, I would go down whether it's a country song, rap song, whatever, I would always change the words. You know what I'm saying? I would always do that. And so then when I was like 16, 17, I don't know, bro, like Ludacris and all them, I just was listening to that, and I was like, you know what? I could do this. I could do something like this. But it would always just like a hobby. It was never like I made a rap when I was in high school for like our senior video, and I made a farewell of me rapping. I made a rap, like, and everyone's, because they called me D Money, and so like about
D Money.
Yeah.
So is this your first rap name, D Money?
I guess you could say that. Yeah,
okay.
I went by like 6 different names, bro, growing up, but I didn't really start taking it really serious until like 2012, 13 is when I was with, I don't know if you remember, Hard Knock Click.
I don't remember that.
With Trevor Simpson and my homie Levi and my buddy Josh.
I do know who Trevor Simpson is.
Shout out them, man. I still love all them. They're my people. They're my boys. I'm going to give them a round of applause.
Okay, man.
But yeah, then that's when I really started taking like, because we dropped the, what was it? I'm a Wild Boy, that song by MGK. Mm-hmm. We did a remix to that. Okay. And that was my first song ever I put out like that. And we got like 9,000 views, bro, like in a week. And I just was like, oh, I might actually be good at this. Like, this might be something, you know what I mean? Like that I could do. And honestly, who really started me rapping was my cousin Dom. Okay. Shout out Dom Diamond. He that was the first person I ever really, rapped with. But there was this one when I was like 12. I went to Ohio, and there's this guy named Elijah Brewer, and he did something with what's his name? Dude who did Switch Lanes, Mike Posner. Okay. Like he ended up doing something with Mike Posner, but he was actually, now that I think about it, he was the first person, because he came and got me. We went to Toledo, and from Marion to Toledo, he had beats, and he was like, just try to rap. Just try to do it. And so I'm like talking about cars and candy bars and stuff like that.
And this is at 12 years old?
Yeah, that was 12. I just remember that because they were all going to Shipshawana because they would do that every year. It was around Christmas. And I was acting out. So mom was like, you're going to go with Elix and Elijah. So Elijah came and got me. And it's all bringing back memories. That's when I first ever thought about what rapping could be. But like 16, 17 is when I really started trying to put songs to, or words to beats.
So how would you say that how is hip hop culture in a rap genre, which is the genre of hip hop, mm-hmm. how has the culture in the genre of hip hop and rap impacted your life?
Impacted my life? So like I said, I didn't listen to a lot of rap and hip hop unless it was with my mom. you know. So I was listening to a lot of like Green Day and stupid stuff like that. But like I said, when I got older, I started listening to more. It was Ludacris, it was Kanye, and then obviously when Drake started getting popular, it was Drake, it was Wayne. Wayne was my number one. Like I was, especially at Oak Hill, all the white boys, they loved Lil Wayne. They was always listening to Lil Wayne. But Lil Wayne was probably is my idol, honestly. That's why he was part of the reason why I wanted to rap too. You know, because I was like, man, his wordplay and everything. But like, then I started listening to the legends, like, you know, Jay-Z, Nas, Pac, Biggie. Biggie was one of my, especially when Hardball came out, really started listening to Biggie after Big Papa. I had never heard Big Papa, and my mom was like, you never heard this? And I was like, so then I really started listening to Biggie and them. But like, I don't know, that whole era, I'm still feel like I'm stuck in. So when I rap, I'm not thinking about this new era. When I rap, I'm thinking about the Luda flows, the Jeezys, the Nellies, all that, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff. I'm not thinking about this NBA Youngboy and, you know, Kodak and all that, which, you know, they do what they do, but that's just not, you know, they haven't impacted me at all. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rod Waves and all that, they have not changed my style and how I want to, you know, do music and stuff like that. It's been the old heads.
Yeah. So I hear you talking about the genre of hip hop, which is rap. But what about the culture, the fashion, the slang, things like the jewelry, the dancing, the mentality? How has the hip hop culture, like, how has that played? Because obviously you being a part of it is going to play a part. You know?
I know, and I don't know, man. Like that, all that is really cool. Like, I don't get it twisted. I like that, but that's not why I like the rap. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, I could care less about the chains and all that, and like all the good clothes and all that. Like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. But to me personally, I don't care. I really don't. All that stuff doesn't impact me. It's just, I love to rap. I love to make music. I love feedback when people are like, oh, you know, what you said in your music, I'm going through right now in life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know the origins of hip hop was because of black and brown, black and Latino, Hispanic, whatever you want to say, culture not having a voice.
Yeah. Being
underserved, being underprivileged, being oppressed, and ghettos and hoods all around the world. And so that's what hip hop music was. Mm-hmm. It was an expression. So it was dance and the graffiti art and rap and poetry. Yeah. So
and I love the dance part. Like, when growing up, I loved dancing. Actually, I
still dance to this day.
Yeah, I took dance for a little bit, man.
I used to tap dance when I was
young, Dancer's Edge. They changed now, like Signature or something, CSA, or I don't know. They you know, combined with somebody, but Brandy was my instructor.
Yeah, Brandy. Yep.
And shout out Barry and Kevin Davis, Barry Majors and Kevin Davis. We were the only boys in that mug, man. We were the only ones, especially in that age group in that class, and I just loved doing all that. And so at Oak Hill, that's what I was also known for. Before it was just being goofy and dancing, and like we did a senior dance, and one of the songs was a Soulja Boy song, and they had me in there, Pretty Boy Swag, just hitting the hitting the Dougie and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I honestly, I ain't gonna lie, man, I can't dance, but I'll be the first person on the dance floor. Like I can hit a little jig, you know, I can keep up with rhythm and stuff like that, but like I ain't no Chris Brown or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love all that. I guess in that sense, yeah, that's impacted me a lot too. Because you know, especially when I do my music, like I want to, you know, be able to, you know, bow my shoulders, move, you know, move my hips, stuff like that. Be able to groove to the beat. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So you made a So as audio engineer, I've worked on your music sporadically since 2013. I haven't been the only engineer that's worked on your music, but I've been the best.
Here you go, bro. He had to
round of applause for that.
He had to add that. He had to add that one in there, huh?
Yeah, may not be the only one, but definitely been the best.
He cannot go a whole show or a day without saying something like that, man.
We gotta talk stuff, man.
I'm already knowing.
But you made a transition last year, I believe.
Yeah.
To stop using profanity in your music.
Yeah, and that
no more cussing, right?
Yeah.
And so something like that in hip hop music, let's say mainstream, I think the only person I'm trying to think of people. I don't know if Will Smith cussed in it. I don't think Will Smith cussed in his music.
I don't think he did either.
There was Jibbs. You remember Jibbs? Do your chain.
Hang low, do it.
King come,
yeah.
King. So Jibbs
I guess I never,
St. Louis.
I guess I never really realized that because, so many rappers do, and it's just almost...
There's very few people. Me coming from the Christian hip-hop world, I can tell you a ton of dudes in that space, but obviously you wouldn't expect, explicit music and Christian
especially
hip-hop.
rappers who don't label themselves as Christian rappers. They're just rappers, and they could even be talking about women and all this other stuff, but don't cuss about it. They just do it in a distinct way.
In mainstream culture of hip-hop,
which if you can do that, that's impressive too, because that's like country singing. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone's like, oh, just go listen to country. And I'm like, if you really listen to country, they're talking the same thing these rappers are talking about. They're just doing it in such a more distinct and, better way. Even that they're not being blunt about it.
Even when I think about, people considered, conscious rappers like Common, Talib Kweli, Mos Def,
shout out to them.
The people like them, they still have explicit content.
Right.
A lot of substance to it,
but still
explicit. So you made
the Don Trips and Starlitos,
you made a conscious decision to be like, I'm no longer going to use profanity. I'm not going to cuss in my music no more. I'm not going to have explicit content in my music no more. Why? Why did you make that decision?
Well, first off was,
and this is not just for a song or album. This is a career choice.
This was a career choice because, first was my kids. I just feel like they already get so much negativity at school, so much on social media platforms, whatever music they already listening to, whether it's from other people, whatever, and I just felt like they didn't need to hear that from me, and especially when it comes to my music. Now, during life, sometimes, I slip up. Them kids will get you to that point, you know what I mean? But in my music, I was like, I ain't going to do that. And another reason was my grandma, before she passed, God rest her soul, rest in peace, she actually liked listening to me. So I was like, I made a song that she could actually listen to, you know what I'm saying? Because she still would listen to him, but she just she didn't like all that, she couldn't listen for too much. And so, the fact that I was like, she loved it. I was like, all right, I'm going to make more music for you. And then she passed away. And I was like, I'm going to still keep doing it. I'm not going to just stop just because she's gone. You know what I mean? And so, and it's actually, honestly, it's been really beneficial already. A lot of people that know me, from school, all that, run into me and they're just like, oh, where can I listen to your music? And I'm like, yeah, you can. I'll tell them, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't cuss or nothing. And so, oh, my kids can listen too? I'm like, yeah, I actually got a couple of songs, probably 4 kids, the basketball songs. And then I'll get random messages like, hey, man, my kids are listening to your song right now, or hey, one of my sons listens to your song before every game. And so then I was like, hey, man, we love that you don't cuss. And also, Compete Training Academy, Jordan and Courtney Delk, shout out them. I give them, they're doing their thing over there with the
shout out to them.
They use all my music, all my music for, their training videos. And I've even got a lot of their clients from all over listening to my music. Jordan texted me one day and said, hey, man, one of my clients' sons walks up to your music for baseball. They have walk-up songs. And my son, he picked one, and I was like, what you want? And he's like, I want you. I'm like, bro, don't do that. You don't have to. I don't want to ever force my kids to feel like they have to, be involved in the stuff I do. Like, I want them involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't got to just choose it because I'm your dad. And he was like, "No, Dad, I want your music as my walk-up songs." And now all his friends were like, "Bro, that's your dad? Your dad does that? Like, this is," you know what I mean? And so, like, I don't know, it's cool. And another thing, like, my kids will always be able to listen to that. You know what I mean? When I'm dead and gone, all that, like, that's something they can still be able to, you know, hold on to. And so with that decision, like, it's always going to be positive. You know what I mean? They'll never, you know, have to hear nothing negative from their dad when it comes to that. And that's, you know, that's just something I was, like you said, a legacy, and that's what I want my legacy to be.
Get into one of these last questions, man, before we get up off here. In your debut album, In the Moment, you talked a lot about, you know, growth and progression and legacy building. In my opinion, that was my interpretation of the album.
100%.
And so, like, as a recording artist, what do you want your legacy to represent and be remembered as when it's all said and done? Years even after you make, years after you're done, years after you could be gone. What do you want people to remember that as?
Just nothing but positivity. You know, that person that, especially with, like, I've always said, if I could change one person's life from my music, whatever they're going through, without, you know, whether I know it or not, my mission is complete. You know, so I just, something, like I said, positivity. I just want to give the people something that, you know, they can hold on to, and it's not going to affect them in a negative way. You know what I mean? Like I said, we got so many people talking about drugs, killing people, doing, like, you got to get your revenge, you got to get your get back, and that's not me. You know what I'm saying? It used to be, but now I'm just like, I want peace, not just for the world, but within myself.
And also, I think that is one of those things too. Like, what we're trying to do with Engage Records.
I just want to be uplifting to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, anyone I come in contact with, whether that is music or non-music, I want them to be able to, like, oh man, that's who I, not necessarily who I want to be, but that's who I, you know, that's who I want to act like type. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a good way instead of in a negative way.
This is why, you know, with you, I recommended you to the Engage Records team, because of that. It's rare. And yeah, round of applause for that, man. That's dope, man. And we're gonna have to get Damon Nee back on.
There's not enough time in the world, man.
There's not enough time.
For
we
real.
could keep going, but I feel like saving a part two,
of course,
you know, it is going to make a dope episode.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have to get.
I got
you
a
back.
lot more to say.
We gotta get you back.
And
on.
I appreciate you having me on here today, man.
Oh man, for sure, man. It's been a blessing, man. You got a new website that just launched. Tell people about the website. Tell them where they can go to.
Yeah. So it's www.daimonnee.com.
Spell that for the people, man.
www.daimonnee.com. It's got a couple of my songs off my debut album, In the Moment. It also will have a mailing list where you can put your email in, and you'll get all the new updates for new music, new videos, merchandise, and all that, everything you need to know. So www.daimonnee.com. I'm also on Instagram at Damon Nee Music. On Apple, Spotify, Damon Nee. That's DAIMONKNEE.
And also, y'all heard it. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to say you heard it here first.
But you're gonna hear it.
but you heard it here. In whatever order. Mark this episode and mark my words this episode proves a receipt. I think signing the brother to Engage Records proved it as the biggest receipt. I think that this guy is going places, and people may not see the vision, but vision isn't for other people. It's for you.
For me, that's what.
And for the people involved with it. And so, man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the KYREN Monteiro Show, Season 4, Episode 2, Legacy Building, featuring Damon Nee. Check out the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which is converting to YouTube Podcasts, all places that you can have a podcast. Man, give him a round of applause one more time, for tuning in with us, man.
I appreciate you, bro, for real.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just like every other episode, man, y'all already know, man, you're dealing with a music head on this podcast. So we got to end the show with some music, man. This is my latest single, Shut It Down, which is available all on the same platforms. You can go find Damon Nee at. Engage Records is the record label, Face Squad, the movement. This is presented by Frequency Canvas Show. Shout out the team at Frequency Canvas. Let's shut it down, man. Like Nee said, we hope that this music can uplift y'all that we putting out, man, for real, man.
For sure.
Yeah, schools, yeah.
Shout out to my dude Big Beats on the track, man.
Hey.
Tell them I said it.
I shut it down. I'm levitating, so that means I'm off the ground. I'm feeling it, so that means I'm about to clown.
I tell them please excuse the drill,
cause somebody might drown. I shut it down.
Shut it down.
I'm levitating, so that means I'm off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it, so that means I'm about to clown.
Please excuse the drill,
cause somebody might drown.
Woo. Hey, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Any last words you want to say, Nee?
Nah, man. Shout out to my kids, man. Love y'all.
Hey, man, legacy building, man. Round of applause for legacy building, man. Once again, happy Black History Month. I want to thank all of those ancestors that before us that have paved the way, and all of the living legends right now who are paving the way for the day and tomorrow, man.
Facts.
Y'all be blessed.